Hello everyone, I'm T. Brown, encouraging you to keep the faith. In our culture today, many people strive to be big personalities and oversized heroes, whether it's with their friends, family members, or even within their career. That's why sometimes you hear the term, he was a giant in a particular industry, or she was a giant in a particular industry. But the real question is, what does it mean to be a spiritual giant? There are different meanings. We can, of course, be talking about the most famous Christians and pastors like Billy Graham and Rick Warren and T.D. Jakes, who all have achieved large followings and written best-selling books, and who really have helped spread the good word across the country and across the world. But there is another way to be a spiritual giant. And no, you don't have to be rich or famous. In fact, this kind of spiritual giant is completely focused on living a selfless life of service. They're not seeking to glorify themselves, but rather to glorify God. There were many spiritual giants in the Bible. But of course, what immediately comes to mind when you think of giants? Right, the story of David and Goliath. Here we have this young David who is fighting a real life-sized giant. And there are perhaps many lessons that we can learn from this story, and one of them being that size and status does not necessarily lead to one's victory. No, David learned that it was way more important to have faith in God. So who's the real spiritual giant here? David, of course. So how can you be a spiritual giant? Use what you have. David only had a slingshot, 5 stones, and a staff, yet he managed to slay an entire giant. Also, be bigger than your fears. We all have them. Go out and proclaim the word of the Lord. You don't have to be famous to be a spiritual giant. You can touch people in powerful ways, right within your own family or amongst your friends, within your church community, wherever you are. Just make sure that you put God first and serve in whatever way that you can and in whatever way is needed. Matthew 23:11-12 tells us, "The greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." So don't underestimate your capabilities. You may live out what you consider to be a small life, but I am confident that there is a spiritual giant right within you. So make sure you go and live it out. God bless you. Keep the faith.